That actually sounds like the Walmart I work at because the managers are fucking retarded. I hope none of them watch this video.
Yeah.
Um, um, yes. No. Rule number 142. Thank you for pressing the self-destruct button. All enemy installations and city-sized military vehicles will be equipped with a conveniently located, easy-to-operate self-destruct mechanism, or alternately be targeted by a nuclear missile at some point, a la Resident Evil.
Or as the Spaceballs like to say, would you please press the manual override switch to end the self-destruct button? And of course, that usually does not work.
Out of order.
Nothing works in the future.
Okay.
Number 143, the falling rule. An RPG character can fall any distance onto anything without suffering anything worse than brief unconsciousness. In fact, falling a huge distance is actually an excellent cure for otherwise fatal wounds. Anyone who you see shot, stabbed, or mangled and then tossed off a cliff is guaranteed to return later in the game with barely a scratch.
Final Fantasy VIII flashbacks, anyone?
Yes, and it is also the number one route to finding the love of your life, who will later die. But yeah, you will find your romantic love interest by falling to your apparent death.
Actually, Dyne comes to mind in Final Fantasy VII through the flashback. He gets his arm shot, falls down the cliff, he's assumed dead, but he comes back later on in the game and he has a gun for an arm just like Barrett.
Yeah, that would count as a scratch. And I'm kind of wondering what happened the second time he fell to his death.
Yeah, if it didn't kill him the first time, did it die then?
Number 144. Materials Science 101. Gold, silver, and other precious materials make excellent weapons and armor, even though in the real world they are way too soft and heavy to use for that purpose. In fact, they work so well that nobody ever melts their gold suit of armor down into bullion, sells it, and retires to a tropical isle in the proceeds.
Indeed, yes.
I would like to
number
see
one...
a suit of armor and just whack it with a hammer and see it shatter to pieces. But
Number 145, Materials Science 201. Everyone you meet will talk enthusiastically about how some fantastically rare metal, iron, say, would make the best possible armor and weapons. Oh, if only you could get your hands on some. However, once you actually obtain iron, at great personal risk, of course, everyone will dismiss it as yesterday's news, and instead start talking about some even more fantastically rare metals, such as gold. Repeat until you get to the metal after mithril. See the ultimate rule.
yeah, that's kind of how it works in all these, upgradable weapon games.
Not in Final Fantasy VIII. In Final Fantasy VIII, you just find random crap like screws from headless gorillas and, steel pipes from headless gorillas. And, yes, random stuff you wouldn't think of making weapons with.
Number 146, the 7th inning stretch, or the Elk Rule. At some point in the game, the main hero will receive a deadly story-driven injury and will be put in the hospital instead of having a mage heal him. This will leave him out of the commission for at least the length of 2 side quests. The female lead will also be temporarily out of commission, as she steadfastly refuses to leave the hero's side. Ultimately, a simple vision quest is all that will be required to bring the hero back to normal. Cloud.
Yes.
Number 7.
Cloud, yes. Yes, indeed.
Another rule blatantly written for Cloud.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Boy, it says Elk Rule, so obviously this Elk person is the first to go through this.
Number 147, Vivi's Spellbook Principle. Over the course of the game, you'll spend countless hours learning between 20 and 100 skills and or spells, approximately 3 of which will still be useful by the end of the game.
Indeed. Yes. And approximately 5 of which will be useful from the start anyway. Number 148, Gender Equality Part 1, the Pheno Rule. Your average female RPG character carries a variety of deadly weapons and can effortlessly hack or magic her way through armies of monsters, killer cyborgs, and mutated boss creatures without breaking a sweat. She may be an accomplished ninja, a superpowered secret agent, or the world's greatest adventurer. However, if one of the game's villains manages to sneak up and grab her by the standard female character grab area, her upper arm, she will be rendered utterly helpless until rescued by the hero, or as I like to call it, the Sonya rule. And I'm going to read this next one just for the fuck of it, because I feel like it. 149 Gender Equality Part 2, the Tifa Rule. If any female character in a burst of anger or enthusiasm decides to go off and accomplish something on her own without the hero, she will fail miserably and again have to be rescued. Yes.
Number 150, Gender Inequality Part 3, or the Luna Rule. All of the effort you put into maxing out the female lead's statistics and special abilities will now turn out to be for naught when she spends the final confrontation with the villain dead, ensorcelled,
or ensorcelled,
or held hostage.
Go ahead, say it before we make any remarks.
Nuclear.
I wasn't paying attention. Number 151.
Okay. I am going. No, before we go on to 151, that should be renamed the Eris rule. It really should.
Yeah, I guess so.
Not
does
just
make
the
sense.
not just the final battle, the final half of the game.
Of the first disc.
Well, the third disc was practically like the last hour of gameplay, so I'm going to call the first disc the first half of the game. Next.
Number 151, Gender Equality Addendum. Or Ryan, what? Addendum. What? Addendum. What? What?
Oh, just go.
Addendum.
Just go. In the unlikely event that the main character of the game is female, she would not be involved in any romantic subplot whatsoever beyond getting hit on by the shopkeepers.
Izuna.
Indeed. Really? Really? Oh, I didn't know there were female characters in these games that weren't involved in romantic subplots.
Izuna.
Hmm.
Even though that game is a somewhat satirical look at things like Naruto, but whatever.
152 Stealing the Spotlight, the Edia Rule. The characters who join your party only briefly tend to be much cooler than your regular party members. Yes, indeed. Cypher, Sephiroth, Edia, Zach? What? Zach, what?
Are
When?
you thinking
Where?
of the same
What
Zach?
game?
I'm thinking.
Sorry.
You said
Which Zach?
Damn it! Don't leave a
Cricket.
cliffhanger.
I can't remember his last name. Damn it.
What? From what game?
I believe it was in. Shit. It was a character in the second Chrono game where you kind of beat with him for like one side quest, and he rapes ass, and then you kind of never see him again.
Okay, I thought you were talking about Zach from Final Fantasy VII.
No.
Who never joins your party at any point, so that would be a really bogus example. Next, 153, whoever's turn it is.
Mommy, why didn't they just use a Phoenix down on Eris? It's a completely legitimate question. Don't expect battle mechanics to carry over into the quote-unquote real world.
All right, I'm going to have to give this the geek's answer because technically, when you look at the descriptions for status effects, at least in games as late as Final Fantasy VII, when a character is quote unquote dead in battle, they are KO'd.
KO'd.
Yeah, which we could say is on the edge of death, but not quite dead yet.
That's a cop-out.
So a Phoenix down is more or less like a smelling salt, kind of. Pretty
much. That doesn't apply though into older Final Fantasies, where if you get killed, you are killed.
It was literally dead. Which is why.
In was it Final Fantasy 1, the original? I think it was called being swooned or slain.
Or Pokemon likes to call it fainting.
Fainting, yeah.
Yes.
Moving on.
Number 154, the Gold Saucer Rule. The strongest weapons, items, spells in the entire game can only be found by doing things like racing birds. Final Fantasy X, the Chocobo.
Or Final Fantasy VIII, that stupid card game.
I actually liked that card game. It just, at the end, when I found out that the most useful thing you could do with the cards is turn them all into random items with some weird random GF ability, I thought it was kind of, I don't know.
It gave you some kick-ass stuff for it.
Well, yeah, like that